Take a listen to the following melody.
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where a wedding has been.
You probably feel that there's something about this melody that just seems memorable and sticks in your mind long after you've heard it. Now take a listen again, and I will highlight exactly why.
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where a wedding has been.
Do you see those three groups of highlighted notes? Each one is a repetition of itself at a different pitch, but built from the same original group of notes. These are called melodic sequences, and are just one of the many elements that are crucial in writing a timeless melody. The Beatles used copious amounts of sequences throughout their songwriting catalog, and this video will demonstrate some of the songs in which they occur and why they're important, along with songs from other master songwriters that stand the test of time.
In Penny Lane there is a barber showing photographs of every...
More specifically, sequences are repetitions of groups of notes that are called motifs, or also sometimes called melodic cells. The repetition of these motifs usually maintains closely to the original shape or contour of how the notes move, with slight variations internally to allow for differences in the lyric syllables.
He's a real Noah man, sitting in his Noah land, making all his Noah plans for nobody.
The intervals between notes don't have to be exactly the same as the previous iteration of the sequence, which is called a tonal sequence if it at least follows the scale notes from the key of the song section. But if they do follow the exact intervals as the previous iteration, then it's referred to as a real sequence. You'll find those in a lot of jazz songs that contain a lot of chromatic or non-diatonic notes.
They said he wandered very far, over land and sea.
There are also other names for different types of sequences, but their specific names aren't that important for popular song examples outside of academic or classical music theory discussion. But what is important is that they occur very frequently in countless songs in all genres of popular music, not just classical pieces.
Jojo was a man who thought he was a loner, but he knew it couldn't last.
When you get to the bottom, you go back to the top of the slide, and you stop, you turn, you go for a ride, then you get to the bottom and I see you again.
A motif can consist of just two notes, or it can contain a handful of notes. The chorus of the song Jolene is made up of a two-note motif, and many of the song examples in this video contain entire phrases that are repeated as sequences. Many timeless melodies are also made up of only one or two different motifs throughout the entire song, and sequences are a great way of balancing familiarity and novelty. They also help give phrases with a lot of static repeating notes more interest and direction.
You never give me your money. You only give me your body, baby. And in the middle of negotiations.
Sequences can occur both in the middle of phrases internally and as a repetition of an entire melody between phrases externally.
Remember to let her into your heart. He's a real Noah man, sitting in his Noah land, making all his Noah plans for nobody.
Going back to an earlier term used in this video called melodic cells, I think they symbolize a great analogy. I like the term melodic cell because it describes how so many great melodies contain various elements, much like how an organism contains different types of cells. You don't notice these things until you see them under a microscope, and that's similar to analyzing what goes into the making of a great song, by paying attention to what kinds of patterns show up time and time again throughout all eras of music. And not just the songs in this video, but so many more.
Your beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair and ivory skin and eyes of emerald green.
You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remained a drug as the high and not the pill.
That's why sequences are found in countless melodies in all genres of popular music, because they work well in creating melodies that stick, even though the greatest songwriters who've used them may not have known their terminology. Through constant listening and absorbing countless amounts of great songs that came before them, they intuitively grasped this technique, like the other techniques demonstrated in the other videos I have uploaded.
In the white room with black curtains near the station,
I wanna live with a cinnamon girl. I can be happy the rest of my life with my cinnamon girl.
Home alone by the side of the road, where the lorry is rolling by. Blue walls sink in front of weight of the load, and the buildings scrape the sky.
The last thing I want to mention about sequences is that you can literally write a whole song around one or two short motifs, instead of overthinking your process of writing melodies. Trying to write too many of them, or melodies that are too long and complex, can easily derail your song. In fact, overcomplexity is one of the common traps that many songwriters fall into that destroys the potential memorability of their melodies. This is why the overwhelming majority of the most timeless and lasting songs contain only a few motifs that make up the phrases in the song, but they use techniques like sequences and variations to add novelty and interest.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
The song Girl from Ipanema, for example, is based around 3 different motifs used in sequences. Adam Neely has a great video breaking down the entire song, and you can see that although each different section of the song is based on just one unique motif used in different sequences, there's enough variation to keep the melody interesting and extremely memorable. David Bennett also created an excellent video a few years ago about sequences in popular song examples, and this video just expands upon his list. He also has an excellent variety of other topics that will help expand your knowledge, and I highly recommend checking out his channel. They're just the sort of insights that can help break you out of a musical rut if you find yourself in one. Thanks for watching, and please make sure you experiment with these techniques by making up your own song sections and personal writing challenges based around them. As always, the best way to get better at songwriting is by practicing these techniques until they become second nature.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby.
First thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and a youngin's dream of growing up to ride.
Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change.